All right, let's talk Dark Quest 2. Disclaimer, I did not purchase this game. I was offered a key, and I took it. But with that being said, what did I like about the game? Well, first thing, just the level of customization when it comes to your characters. They all have the little skills here, and with different levels, and you can upgrade them, and even like the overlap between them, like both the dwarf and the archer have things to do with traps, and then there's healing stuff. And so the party mixture that you put together based on the characters as you have spec'd them was just really interesting. And there's a lot of different ways that you could go with that and go into each individual quest with varying advantages and disadvantages. Add on top of that level of customization the equipment that you can take, and you get a whole new layer of min-maxing of your characters. You know, which characters can take which equipment. You can only take two pieces, and the different ways those pieces of equipment give you advantages and disadvantages, allow you to put an extra layer over top of the skills you select as the characters. And then this is all true of the potions also. Each character can take two potions, and the potions do different things. All right, next, the questing system. You can see this map. There's actually different paths you can take through the castle, and the quests connect to each other in different ways. And I thought that was neat. You get a couple different choices as you're going in. Sometimes you'll go down one direction and you'll end up in an area that you're just not spec'd correctly for, or you're not leveled up high enough, and you got to backtrack and go a different direction. And so following the different paths through the castle was interesting. Once you decide what quest to go on, and you have your party spec'd, you have to decide which characters you're going to take in. And at most you can have 3. That's usually the amount that you can take in. And balancing the strength and weakness of the different combinations give you a lot of options and a lot of different ways you can tackle the quests in the dungeon. Alright, once you're in the dungeon, the tactical aspects of moving around are also very interesting. Even picking which character opens up a chest or hits a barrel or searches things depending on how much gold you get. And then, navigating through rooms full of traps. All those things are very interesting. Even, which character you want to go first makes a difference as you're going through the castle. This becomes especially true in combat. This is not just a run in and kill everything game, but positioning and casting this kind of spell to stop these kind of enemies, and using these kind of attacks in this kind of order, and setting up traps and setting up rooms in such a way that you're going to be successful in combat can be very important, and it can be very overwhelming, and combat can get away from you if you're not approaching it correctly. Which makes it nice that the game gives you the ability to bail out of a dungeon and keep some of the stuff that you got, especially the level up potions, and then you can power up and then come back and approach the dungeon, with better characters, or maybe a better party combination, or with different skills, so that you can overcome the thing that stuck you the first time. Okay, what didn't I like? Well, you're gonna see this scene a whole lot. Every time you leave a room, you gotta leave the room with all 3 characters. And especially when you're moving through rooms you already moved through before, it just seems tedious after a while. I wish they would have made it so that once one character leaves the room, and if there's no monsters, everybody leaves the room. You can't split the party, so everybody's got to walk through the door at the end, and it just kind of doing it over and over again gets a little tiresome. Making the exploration even worse is the fact that the map is very uninformative. It doesn't really tell you, like, if you've been to this room, or have you used all the exits from this room, was there something significant about this room. So in the larger dungeons, when you're backtracking to find stuff you missed, or maybe you didn't find the right exit, the map can be very unhelpful in you getting where you need to go. Combine that with the way the rooms work, it can get pretty tedious. All right, what about the stuff that was really neither here nor there? Artwork, pretty good. It's all hand-drawn, I believe. It's not like the best artwork you're ever going to get, but it is not distracting either. It was pleasing. Music, same. The story, there's not much to speak of. The scripting is fairly generic. It's more of the make interesting tactical choices in characters in combat kind of RPG, and not so much the deep storyline RPG. All right, final thoughts. So for a $2 RPG, that you get all the content when you buy it, and they don't gate you behind anything. You just get what you buy. I think it's pretty good. If you enjoy an experience that is very tactical in the way you build your characters and equip your characters and party combinations, and then even some tactical dungeon exploration with searching and traps, and there's even skill checks in there where you want to pick certain characters to do certain checks, and then have that all represented in combat as well. You know, which combinations of abilities you use, which one-time attacks you use, the way you go about clearing a room and interacting with different monsters. It's all very interesting. If you're looking for a deep RPG with a lot of character development and story, this one isn't for you. But if you want to do some tactical dungeon crawling and fighting some dudes and powering up your dice, and if you enjoy the min-maxing, then I think Dark Quest 2 is worth checking out. If you have any questions, throw them down in the comments. I will try to answer them. There's just a ton of information out there about this game, so you can probably find it if you go looking. But if you want to throw it down below, I will do my best to answer your questions. And until next time, have a good one.